The 2025 International Women's Day was marked yesterday, Saturday, March 8, in recognition of the existential socio-political and economic issues being faced by women all over the world. The theme of this year's commemoration was Accelerate Action, which emphasizes the urgent need to take decisive steps toward achieving gender equality, addressing the slow pace of progress, and empowering women and girls worldwide. In Nigeria, this year's commemoration was overshadowed by developments at the highest echelons of government, at the exclusion of fundamental issues involving the invasion of privacy and assault of women at home and in their places of work. In the meantime, the Senate last Thursday suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who represents Kogi Central on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, for a period of 6 months over misconduct. The decision followed the recommendations of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions, which found her guilty of misconduct and failure to appear before the committee. The suspension stems from allegations of sexual harassment that Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan leveled against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. She had accused Akpabio of obstructing her legislative motions, particularly those concerning the Ajaokuta Steel Company, and claimed that he referred to her as a nightclub girl during a Senate session, a remark for which he later apologized. A week of unprecedented chaos, you dare say. However, with a lot having been said about this very personal but high-profile political dispute, and with the Senate bringing down the gavel in support of the Senate President, many are asking what is the way forward for a bit of focus on the role of conduct in all that has happened and possible pathway towards conflict resolution, and primarily about International Women's Day, which was celebrated yesterday. And in any case, the whole month of March, February is about the celebration of women. I'm now being joined by Dr. Nwakwesi, a medical doctor and executive chair of Growth Mindset and Integrative Lifestyle Academy. Great to have you on this day live, Dr. Nwakwesi.
Thank you very, very much, Ruben. Thank you
for joining us. Well, madam, yesterday was International Women's Day, and this was celebrated worldwide. The theme is Accelerate Action. It was in 1922, March 8, 1922, that Lenin, then the leader of the old Soviet Union, established the International Women's Day in recognition of the role that women played in the October Revolution of 1917. The October Revolution took place November 7, but it's called November Revolution. And this was also in response to efforts by women between 1908 and 1999 in different parts of the world to say, look, we deserve recognition. In 1995, let's jump, there was the Beijing Declaration of Women. In 1979, the United Nations are taking over to say, look, International Women's Day must be on March 8. That was 1977. 1979, there was also another declaration. Now we have Beijing plus 30. Let me just jump the narrative. Have we made any progress in ensuring that women are not marginalized? Have we made any progress in ensuring that the voices of women are heard? Have we made any progress globally and nationally in ensuring that women are properly recognized in terms of their contribution, either at the family level, or the community level, or the national level?
Thank you so much, Ruben, for that question. And I would like to say that, yes, we have made some progress. Life is actually a journey, and it's a privilege. So what we also need to be doing is to be grateful for the blessings and the journey that we've done well. Then have the humility to accept the weaknesses and look for strategic thinking pathway to turn the weaknesses into strength. So I would say I'm very proud of Nigerian women. They are holding forth in families. Many of them are in institutions as managing directors. We may not have done all so well in other things, but I'll say that I actually love Nigerian women. They are very passionate about their families. They are very passionate about nurturing their children well. Of course, in certain situations, it's not as good as that. So I'm the kind of person that will always be grateful for things that have gone right, but look for solutions for things that have not gone right. So let me go to the other. I think we could have done more, Ruben. I think we could have done more as women, because you know something, women are very talented. Women are very stress resilient, unlike men. And women multitask, and they are able to do so many multiple things at the same time. The challenge, Ruben, we have is that our parenting and educational curriculum are so lopsided to formal certifications. A, B, C. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, I'm a makeup artist, I'm a designer. We hardly prepare our young people right from early childhood to tertiary institution with the skills and strategies to be able to make their lives a true success. Women empowerment. You cannot be talking about empowerment if you do not start with personal empowerment. The people you're trying to empower, are they ready? Many of us in this society, we do not have enough capacity and competence to make choices that will lead us to our God-ordained destiny. So what I'm telling women, as we are talking about women empowerment, we need to also include a strategic thinking mindset and pathway that can equip people to make empowering choices about their lives. I might want to empower you, but are you ready? Or if you get the money, you're going to probably use the money for superficial things that are not going to add value. So I would say that we can do better. Women are talented. Women are in numbers. Why can't we harness our numbers, especially with our children, the youths, and try to get to our God-ordained destiny? Okay. Let me say something, Ruben, before I stop. I don't like the marginalization mindset. I'm not marginalizing myself because God didn't marginalize me. So women have got to move away from that marginalization mindset, show up, add value, so that they can have seats on the table. It requires strategy.
Okay, madam, I know you wrote a book, 11 actions about
to improve our life,
mindset growth and all of that for women. But one of the major problems we have had in this system, in this environment, is people talk about women supporting women. Mm-hmm. But the main people who oppose women are women themselves. I mean, I was once a consultant for women in Nigeria. You know, Odia Ofemo and I wrote the basic document for women policy, political policy for women in Nigeria, and then in collaboration with those who were driving women in Nigeria there. But when one of them became Minister of Women Affairs, the same women were the ones who were our number one enemies. And we have seen it over the years. Women will not vote for women. Women are the largest number of voters. So what is the problem with the mindset of women? Because if women wanted, they could have put more women in political positions, in positions of authority in Nigeria. Is it a women folk thing? Women don't like women?
Ruben, I will not say that women don't like women. Of course, there are circumstances where women are their worst enemies. What I'm saying here is lack of strategy. If you want to go to somewhere, you must have a roadmap. And it must be critical thinking, strategic roadmap, which you will commit to on a consistent and continuous basis. It's not a one night, you talk about it and you drop it. You must be able to have a consistent pathway. Nigerian women have not really come together into a mega collaboration of a strategic pathway to get to the promised land. Again, women are dealing with all sorts of things, Ruben. I empathize with women. When you look at a woman, you must look at her spiritual life, her mental and emotional life, her body. Is she healthy? Does she have the energy to keep accomplishing her dreams? Then what is her relationship? Look at in the area of relationship. A lot of women are abused. So these are the sort of things that actually sap the woman's energy. So the enthusiasm and the passion may not be there. So what we need to do is, and by the way, I am leading 2 female organizations, Women Allying for Growth, a character rebuilding, social change and impact female NGO, because we believe that the decadence in Nigeria is deep. We also have put together an organization called Women Allying for Community Impact in Nigeria, WASIN. Let women come together, pull funds into an account to be managed by a credible and competent fund and project manager so that we can have money to do this thing. Our children are there now. We have kids, we have children that we can come together into a strategy, plan it, execute it, and we can get to the point. In Nigeria, you have a lot of talents. Women are very, very talented and very creative. I know so many of them. Look at what's happening in the banks. GT Bank, Fidelity, and Zenith. These are all women doing things. And in so many other organizations, women are leading. What I'm telling women is, as you're leading, as you're taking care of everybody else, please have time for yourself. Am I communicating, Ruben? Yeah. Have time for yourself to build yourself so you can be strong, resilient, passionate, impactful, so you can be value added. When you're adding value, nobody will ignore you.
Okay, madam, you talked about challenges.
Yes.
But some people will say barriers to women empowerment in Nigeria. You have the culture of patriarchy that we have. We have economic constraints. Women who go into politics, they have issues with the political party system where women are advised to stay with their husbands and not put their mouths in what does not concern them. You have political violence. You also have, these widows, widowhood rights, this disempowerment of women generally. Now, the theme for this year is accelerate action. How do we accelerate action, for example, in this country, Nigeria, dealing with these barriers? You may be one of those people who say there are challenges, but some people say there are barriers.
I am solution-based. When I come into a matter, I usually do not focus on the challenges. Our problem in this society is that we're focusing too much on the challenges. If you want to get out of a situation, you look for the solution. So there are a few solutions that are coming to me. We must be able to hold the hands of a lot of young women that may not be in such good places. Look at how women are being abused in families. Women have got to realize that marriage is not the identity. God didn't create you for marriage to be your identity. You need to have a purpose. Your spouse or male friend can contribute to your happiness, but should not determine your happiness. Happiness is a choice that comes from within you. So what am I trying to say? Women that are in good places like us, we can pull together and train other young women that may not have the skills. Every woman should become self-reliant. I don't buy this, the man must be the sole provider. The woman, are you a cripple? I don't like it, and I think it's putting our men under a lot of stress. And of course, I'm also not happy with irresponsible men that call themselves husbands, and they don't have any value to add to the family. So what I'm telling every woman that...
husbands always add value.
No,
Ruben,
let's keep it real.
Husbands are important people.
No, okay, they sometimes add value, sometimes they don't add value. Sometimes they are nuisance because they're very toxic.
Really?
Oh, yes, they cause toxicity for their women. I know a lot of women that call me. By the way, I'm a life coach and marriage coach. They call me and say, their husbands are so insensitive. Sometimes they don't even touch their wives for months or years. Let me not go in there, but that's something that is happening.
That's a crime?
It's a big crime because women are usually happier when their emotional and sexual needs are met. But a lot of our men may be even tired, they are on prescriptive drugs, so they're not able to, and they don't show compassion and empathy. They're just like, okay, it's all right. A woman needs to be loved and pampered so you can get out the best thing. But I'm also telling women, don't allow a man or male partner to steal your joy. It's not worth it. If it's good, but please respect your men. Men love their ego. Don't go and be talking down on your man anywhere, especially in front of the public. But do not become a punching bag. Don't allow anybody make you a slave. Thank you.
Madam, I don't even know what to say. But let's talk about policy.
Yes.
The concern is about policy. If you look at Senegal, they have 50-50 women representation in politics. They've been able to achieve up to 42.7%. If you look at Rwanda, they have achieved 30%. In Nigeria here, we are below 4%. 4 women in the Senate, 16 women out of 306, right? In the House of Representatives, 109 in the total number is 369 in both the National Assembly. Now recently, they have just suspended one of the women. That's Natasha Akpoti, Uduaha Senator Mrs. Now, some Nigerians are saying, what is this? We don't even have enough women. We have not achieved anything with regard to Senegal, Rwanda, even the National Gender Policy of 2006. Should we be expelling women from the National Assembly? Just your quick take on the Akpabio versus Akpoti saga in the National Assembly.
You know that when I got this invitation, I told you there are certain controversies I don't want to get involved, but I'm going to say this. When something happens, let's forget about blaming this person, blaming that person. Let's look for the lesson behind the incident. And what I'm trying to say is that what's happening in the Senate, or what happened in the Senate, is a reflection of our decadent society. The Senate is supposed to be a role model for a lot of young people, looking up to them. And I think that we should look at it in the context of our total social existence. But I'd like to say something which is very critical. We do not tolerate the sexual victimization or harassment for women. But here, because I do not quite know the details, what I've been hearing about is in the television, social media. I have not spoken to Senator Pabio. I have not spoken to Senator Natasha, so I may not be able to make an informed judgment on something. I don't even know all the details. But I'll say this. Men who sexually harass women are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally immature.
Madam, you keep attacking men.
I'm going to say it about women, and women who make themselves so available. Because some women, sometimes they flaunt their things all over the place, and men may be, and let me say something, that a man tells you your hair is nice. You need to be able to manage that man. If he tells you your hair is nice, does it mean you're going to start saying he harassed you? But sexual harassment is very bad. And I do believe that this society should put a structure to tackle sexual harassment, not even only sexual harassment, spiritual, mental, and emotional abuse of women, because it's giving some women cancer. As soon as it happens, he goes there and judgment is given totally. But the challenge here is that we have a lot of issues in our society. And I'm not going to be able to just pick one. We need to fix Nigeria. We need to improve our lives. And I'm always talking about the growth mindset and integrative lifestyle. That's what I used to be the woman I am today. I literally almost had depression for 6 years. And I noticed that it was taking me to a path which was going to be destructive. And I began to ask questions. And God helped me to now become authentic with him. And right now, I stand guard at the door of my mind. I don't allow negative thoughts to come and hold me hostage. The Nigerian challenge is that we don't think about what we want to think about. We also do not think about our actions. We do not relate it to consequences. So we do sometimes stupid things, and stupid actions come on, and it may affect us and affect other people. So people have got to learn how to do mindset reprogramming, behavioral and attitudinal changes, values reorientation, and attitudinal changes. It might be very good in something. If you have a poor attitude, nobody's going to be connected to you. Okay. So that's what I have to say for now.
Dr. Nwakwesi,
yes,
you made a point about parenting,
yes, about
the upbringing of the male child. And I've had that view expressed by, some other people. One of my friends, Akin Rokbo, he writes on parenting, he's done books, Mommy, we don't give excuses, Daddy, where are you? And all that, focusing on how we bring up our children. And only recently, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, said he was very well brought up by a single mother and that he will not harass any women. Now, what is this point about how we bring up children, how we bring up the male child? My perspective on this may not tally with a lot of people's perspective, because I always say the male child, the female child, they have one brain. It is the same brain. But of course, in bringing up children, we tend to make the young ladies feel that they must just go and be wives to guys. Learn how to cook, learn how to be a good wife, and then sometimes we don't teach the men how to be responsible husbands. And that is why in the society today, I'm also a life and relationship coach. Look at what's happening in the relationship and marriage circle. Too many breakdowns, too many separation and too many divorce. And then we're bringing up children that are not going to have the harmony and love to be nurtured into adulthood. Of course, it's going to be affecting society. What am I saying? We need to begin to teach our young ones early from parenting and educational schools that their choices sculpt their life. Ruben, did you get that? Their choices. You cannot wake up and just do anything and then you don't expect the consequences. There is something I like to say which is profound. We have a lot of guys marrying our children, our daughters.
that are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally immature. Once a problem comes into the family, they want to opt out. They run away. They don't want to sit down and focus. And of course, some of the girls are so entitled. You know, some of us bring up our daughters and we buy them all kinds of expensive things. So when they get into marriages, they're not able to adjust. So it's a question of parents learning this growth mindset and integrative lifestyle that I teach. By the way, I have an academy where I teach it, and it's by God's grace, growth mindset, you can resolve whatever challenge you have in your life. It makes you to be humble, to learn. I don't like people who tell me they don't want to learn. I don't like such people. Ruben, you get the point I'm making. Mm-hmm. You must be able to identify your weakness and strive, learn how to turn it into strength. That's what I do every day. Every day I'm reading a book. Every day I'm watching podcasts. I speak to God. I do my positive affirmations because negative mindset is enslaving many of us.
Okay, madam, as we begin to wrap up, what we're celebrating is International Women's Day. Yeah. And one major thing we've been hearing is about how women have been able to break the ceiling, the glass ceiling, they call it. Are there some women that you would like to celebrate, either locally or regionally or internationally, who are examples of what a woman is capable of, and that you recommend to this younger generation of women who need mentoring in politics, in business, in relationships, generally?
Well, I'll mention my old classmate, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She was my next, in the class I was sitting next to, a very intelligent lady, and she's done very well. But I'm still saying, what is the value in trying to improve the Nigerian society? It's good to be out there doing international things, but they say charity begins at home. I think that we also need to look inwards and see how we can all collaborate to improve the Nigerian society. A woman like, I like Ms. Washika. I think her first name I can't remember. I love her so much because she's doing an amazing job. She's speaking to people in a way that they can find the life they are missing. I love what she's doing, but we also need to remember that the youth are there. Sometimes the cost of these things, of this coaching, gets outside the reach of the young people. And that's why in my academy, I try to make it as affordable as possible. And I make it as simple as possible because these young people, they need to learn fast so they can get out of the destructive path they're going. Then what else did you ask me? I think, you know, I'm old. I'll be 72 maybe, so my brain.
Just say, you know, women that you yourself admired and that you like to recommend some of the as role models.
I admire some of the women that are running banks, but I'd like them to please put their eyes more in how do we improve the Nigerian society. Look at what's happening in Nigeria. A lot of poverty in a country that God has blessed with so much. Look at the land we have. Why can't government set up hectare by hectare land prepared with water, everything, and just get people to go there and invest? These women, I love them, but I'd like them to please collaborate with people like us who have the energy. We still have energy. My son said, Mommy, I think it's time you retire. I said, please. I said, retire, okay? No, we have the energy. We have the creative thinking. Let them come and collaborate with us so that we can improve our citizenship, improve our leadership, so that Nigeria, that is the giant of Africa, may get there. I have a word for our leaders. Ruben, leadership is a skill. Leadership is a journey. It's not an overnight experience. You don't just wake up one morning, you enter a political party, you vie, maybe the election was not so honest, and you call yourself a leader. If you are a leader, you must have capacity and competence to be leading. You must have compassion and empathy. You must be value added. You must be an asset. You can't just say you're a leader and people around you are suffering. Are you an influencer? Are you a good role model? Are you living with inner contentment, inner peace, dignity, character, honesty? Those are the kinds of people we need in this. And I'll mention a man that is very close to my husband. That's Dr. Alex Oti. Alex is doing very well because he prepared himself for leadership. And I'm not saying this because he's a family friend.
He's a member of our family too, at Arise and this day group.
Dr. Alex Oti is one example that leadership can work in Nigeria. So I'd like for us to actually find out what is he doing. But you know something? I watched Alex. He reads a lot. He's God-centered. He's positively programmed. And he's a nice friend, husband, and father. So.
Well, madam, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Nwakwesi. Well, 72, not tired.
Yes, so
you're
and if I'm asking you, are you healthy? You wouldn't do that. Because I met BC Olatula and I said, are you healthy? Are you vibrant? He was just looking at me. What is he doing?
No.
So I'm asking you, Ruben, are you healthy?
No, Mr. Olatilo is over 72. You know,
I'm asking are you healthy?
I'm a young man.
Are you vibrant?
I was thinking.
It's all in the mind.
But thank you very much, madam,
welcome.
for joining us. And happy International Women's Day.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed speaking with you.
Thank you, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.